Hello everybody and welcome back to another quick tips build video with some errors. This time we're going to have a look at different kinds how to construct assemblers and foundry arrays. A lot of the techniques I'm going to use to build the foundries and assemblers are similar to the ones I already showed you in the videos about the constructors and smelters. So if I glance about some of them, just watch the other video, you will find most things there. Also, as usual, if you like the video, give me a like, subscribe to support the channel, and press the bell icon if you don't want to miss any of my videos. We are still up for our 300 subscribers FAQ video, so head over to the Discord and ask me whatever you want to have answered in this video. It's going to be up probably next Sunday. It should be up at least the weekend after I hit 300 subscribers. So I'm going to use mainly Foundries for this video because they are a little bit smaller, and whatever I do with Foundries should work with assemblers in just the same way, except that you're going to need two foundations instead of one foundations for the assemblers. There are a few special things for assemblers which I will show you at the end of the video, so you're going to see what I mean with two foundations then. The main difference with building foundries instead of smelters is that you have two inputs and outputs. So we're going to need two layers of splitters, and I'm going to do this in the most basic kind with just stacking them. So I alternate between building the splitters 3 high and building the splitters 4 high. And of course I'm going to delete all the splitters I don't need in the bottom two. Next up, we're going to need to connect the splitters and to rows. I like to connect the top splitters first. I just think it's a bit easier to get the connections if you do them first. And now we're going to build the elevators, the lifts too. If you did the spacing right, they should connect without any issues, just like with the smelters and constructors. So, and that easy, you have your basic smelter build. Of course, we can build power poles too on top of the splitters, just like I like to do. Just always remember you have to connect the power line to a smelter first, and then you can place a power pole. You can't build the power pole directly on the splitters. Yeah, that's it. Next up, I'm going to show you how to build the splitters in a way so we can place the power poles under them. I raise foundations. You can do it with stacked splitters, of course, just like we did before. I just prefer to do it with raised foundations, just because I don't have to build as many, and I think it's a little bit easier. Just make sure you have the spacing right again. with the foundries, you can place them just next to each other. With the assemblers, you need to leave 2 meters or 2 snap points room between them. And as easy, we have them high enough, so in a way that we can build the power poles under them. Do just the same, placing the elevators again, of course. It's just the same, just a little bit higher. And now I find there are 2 ways. The first way works a little bit better with the assemblers than with the foundries. It works with the foundries too, so you alternate the power poles just like we did with the smelters and connect them crossing under, and then always just connect the 2 assemblers next to them. As you can see, they don't really clip, but it's a really close call, and when the lifts are operational, the items will clip through the power lines. So if you don't like that, there is a way to avoid this. So we build the power poles not alternating, but between each of the foundries, and connect them only to the one foundry which had the power plug right behind it. With the foundries is sometimes a little bit tricky. With the assemblers, that's much easier. And if we connect them all, we can connect the power poles in a zigzag line, and that way there will be no clipping whatsoever. As you can see, pretty solid look, and pretty clean, I would say. If you like this look and want to have only 2 rows or have it a little bit more space efficient, we can just build the merger on top of the splitters, as you're going to see in a second, and just bring the rest behind the elevators up, and that way we can cross connect them. On one side you're going to need to bring the elevator to the side. On the other side we can just straight up, and that way we're going to have a pretty compact and clean input and output all in one line. So yeah, that's the most basic methods you can build them. Next up, we're going to have a look at bottom feeding solutions. You're going to need to have 1.5 foundations room at least under them. So make sure you have this. 1 foundation won't be enough. So I'm going to build a few rows in advance because I want to show you a few different kinds. Always make sure you can have on one side, you get away with 1 foundation between them, preferably on the output side, and on the input side you should leave 2 foundations room between each other. It's actually the same as with the constructors already. So it should be looking something like this. Now we build the power poles first, because we can't build them on the foundations, but we can't build them on the walkways, which we're going to have later. Well, actually we can build them right now. So, we can build them 2 walkways width, but not more, or we can't connect the belts anymore. This is because the foundries look a little bit over one foundations, so we need this room. If we use assemblers and two foundations under them because they are a lot wider, we wouldn't have this problem. Yeah, well, now it's just the same as when we build them on top. We build them into rows, delete the bottom part, connect them, and then we're going to connect them with lifts. Of course, because we can't build them in just the right distance, we have to use belts this time to connect the lifts with the splitters, of course. Yeah, and that's the most basic bottom feed solution. Of course, it's nearly the same thing as with the constructors. When we build between the outputs, it is going to look a little bit different. I'm going to build a walkway first because just that I can build with this later. Deleted the foundations and place the mergers under them. With the assemblers, you could place them in a way that both assemblers would just go directly into one merger. With the foundries, it's a little bit more difficult, so I built the merger a little bit offset, so one side can feed directly into it, and the other side is going to make a U-turn. So yeah, you build the lifts backwards and just connect them like this. If it would be assemblers, like I said, you would need to make this on both sides, because the outputs would be just on opposing sides and not interlaced like with the foundries. So one more way to do it, yeah, well, till now we alternated the splitters. So we had one for the bottom line and one for the top line, and alternated them so they are not on top of each other and are directly aligned with the outputs of the foundries or assembler. This time we're not going to do this. So the same thing I'm going to show you now, you could do for the first two builds too. Yeah, I don't know why I never did it, but it would be just exactly the same thing. So what we do is we build only two stacks with two splitters this time, and have the lifts coming down. The top belt we're going to feed directly, and the bottom one we're going to have the lift show to the side. That way we can feed it in the bottom one, and it still looks pretty clean because it's a perfect 90-degree corner. It is, yeah, I would say it's depending on your taste which one looks better. I'm liking this too. I think it's a little bit quicker to build, but actually it's not that much of a difference. It's just whatever tickles your fancy. So yeah, those are those solutions. So next up we're going to build the splitters and mergers right beneath the Foundries. So I'm going to use 2 meters foundations for that, because I can build walls under that, for no other reason. It's just I like the looks like that. You can of course do something like with the more factory and half walls or whatever you like. So I'm going to rearrange the foundries a little bit too, so that the outputs are exactly aligned with the end of the foundation, and the input is going to stand the 1 meter over. Building gates under it just for the looks, and building splitters on one side, um, like we did last time. I'm going to build them too high, and yeah, mergers on the other side. Of course I should align them. Well, you could of course doing them with the 90-degree belt, but I would like to align them that way. I don't need to build that many belts. So yeah, our one on top, of course, very important. And now we can cross connect them. And next step is building the lifts, of course. Like we did the last time, connect the one which is fitting directly with the top splitters and the other one with the below. This time we can't use the 90-degree turn, sadly, but what we can do is we can alternate the splitters like this, or so that way they fit perfectly. Of course, what we could have done is we could have the belts going out of the other side and just making the 190-degree turn. It's just whatever you prefer. So that's a way you can build a foundry on. Yeah, well, actually it would be 2 foundations, but 1 foundations and a little bit. Next thing, we're going to have a look at the assemblers. Like I said, they are a little bit bigger, so our things need to be 2 foundations in width. On the one side we can align them with the border, on the other side we have to build a small belt like I did, so that we can connect the lift under them. Like I did last time, I like to build a few gates under them. I didn't place them right, so I need to destroy some of the gates later. If you place them exactly right, you won't have them over a wall like I did. So next thing, just building mergers and splitters on the sides. I just needed to look how far in I need to do it, and then building them in the row. And of course we're going to do the same thing with splitters on the other side too. I'm going to make them a little bit farther on the inside, that way we can have them on top of each other, this time for reals. So other than that, it's just the same thing as usual. Well, yeah, as you can see, pretty easy and clean build on 2 foundations. However, we can do something similar on 1 foundation, only with a little bit of tricking, but with no mods. So what we do is we build 3 foundations wide, Directly connecting to the two foundation build, so that way we could alternate 2 and 1 foundations. If you want to only make 1 foundations, you need to place 1 foundation more room. Um, but we can build them like that too. So I'm going to show the more compact one. The wider build should be easily self-explanatory. So we built 3 foundations wide and placed them on there. Um, I make sure that I have the merging output on the same side with both rows. Then we can delete the foundations to the right and the left, like this. I know it looks a little bit like they are floating. You could build walkways under them, or half foundations from the more factory mod or stuff like that. I let them up for you to decide. To tell the truth, with all the belts and lifts and stuff like that, it really doesn't bother me that much, but that's just demo. And then it's basically just the same again. Just build your lifts, build your mergers, build your splitters, and of course, yeah, connect them to the lifts, just like with every other build we did till now. And that's it. That's the most compact way I've found how to build them. That's 2 rows of assemblers on 5 foundations of room. I don't believe you could build any more compact. If you find anything, let me know in the comments. I would love to see how you did it, or any other builds or improvements you come up with. Leave a comment, or even better, join the Discord, share them in the screenshot. I would love to see them. Yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. The next time we're going to have a look at the manufacturers. I'm not sure if it will be this week, next week, or the week after that. But it should be coming soon, and you are going to be in for a treat. There are a lot of different ways to build them, and they are going to diverge. At least some of them are going to diverge a lot from what you have seen the last 2 videos. So, thank you for watching. See ya!